Hey everybody, how are you doing today? Random game time. Unfortunately, I lost power on Saturday, so about that. So makeup session here. We're here with part B from Saturday's game. So before we go in there, hey, sorry about that. I lost power for about 2 hours. Not much I could do about it. Hey Deku. But yeah, makeup game. Enjoy the extra session. Once again, like and subscribe if you're over on YouTube, over on Twitch land. Go ahead and hit that follow button below. Comment, share these videos, share my channel. It helps. I'm actually kind of getting close on Twitch land to more things. Maybe, kind of, sort of. I need to get my viewership up just a little bit. But in the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and hop over and yeah, welcome to the table, welcome to the party, and enjoy. Don't forget to drink more water. Live on my end, at least, while we wait for Sirius's intro.
Yep.
Cool. I'm going to use the bathroom.
Also, I approve of Tiago's stream title.
I will see it here in a moment. Hey, Beerus.
And I am unmuted.
Hooray!
Just sharing your channel.
Yes.
Also, I approve of your stream title.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, should we go ahead and hop into story time with Darren, or wait, didn't Kai just run the bathroom?
I think so. Yeah, so give us a minute.
Timing. Totally unplanned Monday. I mean, we planned it, but didn't really warn anybody. I mean, sleep is
Well,
important.
aside from the
Beerus,
people that were,
to a degree.
but I mean, aside from the people that were in Tiago's stream, no, wait, never mind. No, because it was afterwards.
Mm-hmm. It was a very sudden power outage. A transformer went out. At least it wasn't 3 days this time. Only a few hours, but
We are going to have the shortest recap we've ever had.
yes. It's okay. At some point, me and Kai are planning on doing a the story thus far video for YouTube's, so people who are just joining us can catch up with the story over 1 year of playing and all that, which means I have to do the dreaded editing. By the way, stream, I fixed my wings. They're actually appropriately sized almost now. Very short recap, only about yeah, Deku. That's probably how it's gonna go. It's probably gonna end up being like an hour. But welcome back.
Come back.
You ready to
Engage
story time?
recap mode.
Story time.
Go, gadget, Darren.
There will be no gadget, Darren. That would be messing with the natural order.
Oh boy. Well, I happen to have that scene up at the moment, so it was appropriate.
Wonderful. I don't know what I should call the last session segment. I'll figure that out later.
Whatever you call this one, part 1.
Probably a good idea, since this is session. Last time was session 31A.
Yeah, I called this one 31B. I didn't mark the other one session 31A, but I did fix the numerical script. So on YouTube, it should be correct now.
Hooray!
Wait.
As of last time, for those of you who were there, those of you who weren't, welcome. Last time, it was a very, very long 3 weeks. And we were finally done with Sean. so he could finally sit down for more than 5 minutes. After each member of the crew takes a shower, and Darren has returned the dwarf's great axe, since he has no further need of it, they gather around to talk about their upcoming plans. Also, the dwarf is happy to have his axe back. Minuet mentions having to get a lawyer, though that will need to wait until the crew get to Galarath City so they can help the dwarven friend. Darren notes before leaving the preserve he needs to check in at headquarters since he has a large number of notes and discoveries to share. A few of the crew offer to go with him, which the Dragonkin is fine with, just in case the captain of the Explorers Corps would beat the tar out of him for not finishing her mission yet. Spoiler alert, she doesn't. Eventually, a groaning crew decide to rest for the night, since at least resting, they hurt less. Ixodras specifically is doing the cat thing of being semi-liquid and slept in her chair throughout the night with Minuet and Foxworm on her lap, comfy as can be. Darren shuffles to the kitchen to get coffee in the morning and briefly speaks with Dad, giving the noodles some pets before he retreats to his cupboard with coffee. Sliding into place before Dak can hide, Minuet mentions they have acquired a thing, prodding Darren about the quartz. Once the Dragonkin pulls out the pure quartz chunk, Dat snatches it up, going, "Ooh," for only a moment before realizing he's going to have to do stuff now. That stuff can wait until the ship is in the open air away from places, however, and apparently requires alcohol. Just one bottle, though, but nobody is going to want it afterwards. After breakfast is had, the crew hoof it over to a spot where they can rent a dinghy for a while, Darren spending 2 silver for the rental, and, satisfying my player OCD about money.
That I tried to ruin later.
Yes, you did! Pretty much the whole crew... I'm sorry, I have to laugh at that, god damn it. Pretty much the whole crew joins the Ranger, and during their trek to the island, they notice that the entrance exams are happening for the Ranger Corps at the moment. Darren is used to this sort of thing, though it's a bit of a sight for the others. The Ranger Corps has been getting more popular lately, which is a good thing, meaning a higher influx of recruits and of higher quality. Having to cross through the training grounds, Darren guides his companions and weaves around equipment and personnel alike. Getting to the Explorer's headquarters, Darren heads up to the front desk clerk, presenting them with a thick stack of notes. Side note, the DM consistently referred to them as a cleric in the first part of the session, and that is also a correct term. I'm just using clerk because that is more easy terminology for my brain. As he's doing this, the captain of the Explorers arrives and greets Darren, having the clerk grab a certain file. With the authority of one who has had their position for a long time, she has the crew wait with the clerk while Darren is led away. The crew are offered tea, and Darren follows the captain to an office, sitting across from her. Taking a cigarette and a shot, the captain offers both to the Dragonkin, though he does not partake. The Null sighs repeatedly as she goes through the notes, getting more and more agitated until she stops and pushes the paperwork away. Apparently Darren's handwriting and note-taking is so good that the office corps doesn't want to let him go. It takes a minute, but Darren realizes that that is why he was being held in the office corps. Not his temper, not his mistakes, not being forgotten. He did way too good of a job. Minor existential crises and internal screaming later. Forcing himself to keep composed for the moment, Darren continues to pay close attention as the Null before him pulls out a scrap of paper and begins scribbling down the payouts for his discoveries and achievements, of which I have listed here. She notes that because of his information, they've taken down another Ankershrike, meaning another 1,000 gold to him for that. For discovering a misbound town, he will receive a total of 15,000 gold, 3k up front. For resolving an anomaly, he will receive 10k gold, 2.5k up front. For another creature anomaly, it will be another 1,000 gold, 500 up front. Those last 3, we will receive the rest of the payment once everything is confirmed. Darren is also given a communication stone and a level 1 Explorer's Corps badge. His Corps captain says he is not to speak with the clerical side of things, no matter how angry or frustrated they get. As he takes what is given, Darren is ordered to tell the two rangers that have been following the captain to enter the office when he leaves. While the Dragonkin leaves, the two rangers enter the office, and he hears the captain start shouting at the rangers for their shitty handwriting. With a smug look on his face, Darren returns to the rest of the crew, happy enough to inform them his change into the Explorer's Corps is now official. Minuet is surprised by this, since they didn't exactly go where they were asked to, and wonders if they'll be going anyway. Darren would still like to see where his grandmother got the pin from, so they'll be going after they've taken care of a few other errands. No rush after all. Or maybe there is a rush and we don't know. The good news dispensed, Darren hands over the paper from the captain to the clerk, as well as his old badge, new badge, and the stone he was given. The note is remade, much to the clerk's exasperation, and signed as appropriate. The old badge is set away, and the new one is pinned on Darren's coat with very minor fanfare. Oh god, I forget the name of whatever it was. The party trumpet. There was a better name for it that we discussed last time. Anyway.
Toodaloo or some shit
A
like
lot
that.
of them.
Yeah, the hoo-da-hoo or whatever. The stone, however, is chucked out the window, and the clerk presents Darren with a real, actually magical communication stone. Apparently, the captain gets a random rock from the stone garden outside and uses it to signal the clerk when someone is supposed to receive a real one. There is some shared chagrin between the two over certain office corps gripes, and then Darren and the crew are promptly told to leave since there is another group that is meant to be visiting soon. As they move to go, the crew hear a door opening and more shouting, the clerk noting that the captain probably ran out of liquor. Before they're made to leave, Minuet asks about the box, air quotes, we brought in a while ago, as well as the first mistbeast the crew caught. The box is doing well, but has health issues and is being taken care of at the moment. The mistbeast, however, was apparently re-raised on land, which is why it was able to survive. With their business otherwise done, the crew head towards the docks, stopping at a restaurant to take a break and take stock of themselves. On the way, Minuet shows off his upgraded mask, and Darren notes he should pour some funds into paying off Sean. At the cafe, the crew immediately take note of the two present staff bearing striking resemblances to Sean McTire and Graydon Verdance. Clearly, they're children. The crew get directed to a table and request menus since most of them hadn't been to the cafe ever, or just hadn't been there in a long time. Apparently the cafe is short-staffed at the moment due to the main cook graduating to becoming a full ranger, but it's nothing the teens currently present can't handle. Though the crew are warned not to get burgers since the brother among the two teens can't cook a burger, apparently. This doesn't stop Minuet from ordering a rare burger, though the rest of the crew decide upon pancakes and hash browns. Over food, the crew decide on their current courses of action. For now, the best idea seems to be go to Bramwell first. Gosh, too many twos. Then head to Shasted, and after that do the mountain travel thing. When the waitress comes by, Minuet asks for a newspaper, wondering about some sort of game. The Kitsune sees that something involving pirates has broken out north of the Tule Mountains, which may or may not affect the Lunar Nimbus' plans. It's late afternoon by the time the crew get back to their ship, but they choose to shove off anyway to save on time. The ship gets halfway to Galaras City, before the anchor is weighed and the crew rest for the night. Minuet asks Stat if this far out is good for the magic he's going to do. The Noodle Dragon declines this notion, saying they should try to be away from the cluster since the ritual he's going to invoke may draw things in its activation. This results in Dad asking Ixodras to tell Minuet how high-end rituals work, and the catfolk groans at the idea of dealing with otherworldly intruders for ritual stuff. During the night, some of the crew ship gaze a while before going to bed, passing some time in peace. The next day, the Lunar Nimbus makes it the rest of the way to Galaras City, and the crew decide to take their vessels to the low security docks to avoid having anyone, the dwarf specifically, getting arrested right away. The docking fee is paid, and Ixodras decides to stay behind and guard the ship from any potential thieves and intruders. Cirrus, Minuet, and Darren head out to find the law offices first, and once they find someone to consult, they can get the dwarf there. The trio see the shifts in the districts as they pass from the docks to the low-income section to the higher-end section, and then finally the governmental sector, each one looking nicer than the last. Ending up in an office building, the crew note the first two floors are converted for a large creature to move through. Heading inside, they find a waiting room, seeing a secretary at a front desk fiddling with her nails. As soon as the crew approaches, the secretary begins actually working with surprising efficiency, filling out paperwork and things to sign. As the conversation turns toward why they are here specific, and I'm sorry if I'm stopping in weird places. Once again, my body has decided to do the clogged nose thing.
Hold on.
Only when you talk.
I know, and only when I recap. Why they're here specifically. The trio inform the secretary they are at the office on behalf of someone wrongfully branded and criminalized who is unable to file reports due to the branding. Also, at some point, Minuet says the magic, and this isn't written here, but Minuet says the magic word servitude, which gets things headed our way. Though the secretary gives the crew multiple options, they do press to bring their case before the head lawyer, one Sir Ian Williams. As Cirrus, Minuet, and Darren make their cases to the secretary, she scribbles something down and says it would be a while, as it'll take a few passes to get this through. The trio, as they wait, see someone run out the back door of the offices and later return, out of breath, with a thick folder full of files. The secretary at this time has not yet returned. Minuet waves to the person who returned, and they give a forced smile and continue about their work. After over an hour, the secretary comes back and asks if the person the crew are representing can be safely moved throughout the city, which is answered with a negative. Apparently, the law office was able to pull up plenty of information on the Lunar Nimbus, as well as the dwarf, who has a rap sheet. The secretary asks if the Lunar Nimbus was in Mickle Ferry recently, which they answer affirmative to, as well as answer after the assassination attempt that blew a hole in their ship, and Minuet very nearly gave things away, even though there was a cover made for us specifically for this sort of information. The assassin blew themselves up. That's all that happened. A folder is handed over where multiple known bandit leaders' files are inside, including the dwarf. After indicating the dwarf is in the folder, the secretary tells the trio that the dwarf will have to answer for the crimes he has actually committed, but Sir Ian will meet them. A slip of paper is handed over with a time and place that Sir Ian will meet the crew. Before they get ready to go, the secretary informs them they may wish to move their ship since the dock they're at has a roach infestation. Darren immediately gets up and goes to have the ship moved, and when Cirrus and Minuet leave the law office, they head off to check for bounties for the moment. And that's when a power outage happened. Curse you, Starscream!
Yeah.
Because Transformers.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I had no power. Oh, somebody followed me yesterday too, apparently. Thanks for the follow yesterday, person. Looks like a Nino Zorro. And I was unable to return, unfortunately, at that point in time.
It is fine.
Yes.
All right.
The roaches caused the power outage.
No!
Clearly.
They got in the engine!
Not the engines. So yes, Darren makes a beeline, goes ahead, and is going to have the ship moved really quickly just for clearing that out sakes. What level of security are you moving to?
Guess we're moving to medium security.
Do you want to roll the percentile to see how much it costs?
What's the flat cost?
Flat cost is usually between 1 to 3 gold a day in the city.
Dark is 10s, right?
Yes.
Okay, so 83.
It will end up costing 3.5 gold at the particular one you end up at. Yay, docking.
Screen?
It could be worse.
Yeah, I know.
I believe Minuet and Cirrus were going off to do something else entirely, though, correct?
Bounty office. And then, looking for a front company for, the guild.
There are actually a couple of different, bounty offices that are going to be in town. You guys are near a couple of them, though, Cirrus, you're unaligned with any particular mercenary group, correct?
Correct.
Which means that you can technically go to the main one, which is in the governmental circle. Doesn't that make life nice and easy for you guys?
Woo.
Thumbing through, you're going to notice that it's Since you're in a city, there's a lot of low-level criminal stuff going on. They're searching for a handful of people for very particular things. A lot of them are minor and petty. You see a handful of piracy wanted ads currently available.
which we are not taking.
Nope, I didn't think you would. Um, there has been a string of cat burglaries that they're looking for any information on, happening around the city recently. And it looks like some rich guy has posted something about a lost item. It looks like his family signet ring that he's listed as being very expensive went missing in town square a few days ago. And he believes that a pocket thief might have taken it, but he is willing to spend up to 1,000 gold to get it back.
Is there anything really big ticket looking thing?
I mean, 1,000 gold is kind of big ticket.
Well, yeah, I know, but like big ticket by like the standards of adventurer.
As far as you can see, a lot of this is minor and petty stuff. You're assuming that there might be bigger items, but they're probably unfortunately going to gilded members currently.
Hmm.
Ah.
The
I mean-
downsides of the capitals.
How about some
Like, Ix might
attempted
actually have a
smooth.
better chance.
Yeah, how about some attempted smooth talking and flirting to potentially get some of the more interesting missions?
And is it a case of the interesting missions go to the guilds by default, or just the guilds are where they assume the competent bounty hunters are?
A combination of each. You can assume that in a well-established city like this, the guilds probably put bids on a lot of these things with the local politicians to get more jobs, offering things like reduced rates and stuff like that. Things that they can do here in the capital that might not fly as high in the, smaller cities and such like that. You could, with an all reason, go off and try to find things on your own, however.
Yeah, I would actually like to wind up doing that. I would like to utilize something I've kept in my inventory for such reason.
And that is?
I would like to try to leverage a certain letter recommending me as quite the excellent law enforcement type person.
I see.
Because remember, we all got those recommendations for marshalhood.
You did. So instead of hanging out in the bounty office and showing a clerk that doesn't care, you're going to go to the police station, basically. The guardettes. Yeah. I want you to go ahead and roll your gather information to see if you can smooth your way through this.
Okay. Wait, no. Kai is usually the one who has good d20s, right?
Sometimes.
That's arguable.
It vacillates.
I'm stealing Kai's d20 for this. Because since this is a gather information, I get to roll 2 d20s.
Yep.
Actually, you might not want mine considering who's in the office.
Mediocre rolls on both of them.
7-11.
That would be a 21 and a 25.
Understood. Hey, Kai. Want to roll percentiles for me?
Oh, no. Give me like 2 seconds.
When you hand me NPCs, I might make you roleplay those NPCs. As a heads up, Cirrus.
Oh dear.
Oh, I know what the NPC might be involved potentially.
I understand
Law.
what I am being threatened with.
87.
Do you want me to do it, or do you want to, Kai?
Um,
Oh no.
depends on how much. Like, I don't know if you actually have a job in mind that he could give them, but I'm perfectly willing to roleplay him.
Okay, give me one moment. I'm gonna feed you some information.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Meh.
Oh no.
Hi, Salantis. How are you doing?
Let's see.
Oh dear.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Oh dear. Whatever's going on in the background is gonna be interesting. Oh,
Meh.
Meh.
Why am I being a honk? Oh,
oh,
because
Vaughn
it was
just
still to
requested
hydrate, maybe?
that too.
Hyonk.
Let me
Honk.
see. There.
Meh.
I'm so looking forward to Era getting redeems so that we can bully him with redeems.
Oh no.
Yeah. Wow, all the honks are just coming through.
It's it
I'll
was
make sure to
both
have
the
fun
best.
ones. I'll make
It
sure to
was
have
the
at least
best idea and the
mic boop.
worst idea having a honk.
Yeah.
I will have a
Meh.
mic boop. All right.
Oh, the bonk with the overhead mic.
Yes, I'm gonna get a mic booth. I will put that together the moment I have redeems because I absolutely need that. Wow, he's seriously gonna be honking for a while. So, any questions? Or you good, Kai?
There are once a
I'm good.
compliment.
I'm just putting down the bullet points so I have it right.
I'm
Okay.
sure you will come up with great redeems because you are a clever individual who comes up with good.
Aw.
They are correct.
Alright, I am going to let Kai describe what he wants to describe when you guys end up in a certain fox's office, because fun times. I'm gonna go get a little bit more water. Yep.
Is this water going to be actual water?
Yes.
Good. Water is good, Mr. H.
Dang it, I am out of hot tea. I'm going to acquire more hot tea.
It's supposed to say one, not. So, you go ahead and flash that recommendation, right?
Yes.
One of the officers up front takes it and looks it over and brings it over to one of their friends who also looks at the recommendation, and they exchange a few whispered words, and then the first one comes back and says, "Okay, come with us. I hope you have earplugs."
I have no earplugs.
Minuet pulls a set of earplugs out of his bag and gives one set to Cirrus.
Cirrus now has earplugs.
And they lead you back to an office. It's a relatively cramped space. The officer holds the door open, and you see sitting at this desk, scribbling on paperwork, is a kitsune with sandy colored fur, large ears, just sort of leaning on the desk doing the scribbling, and they pause, and their ears swivel, and a death glare is given to the officer, who gets a shit-eating grin on their face and shuts the door behind you before anything can be said.
Minuet puts in earplugs.
Cirrus
I-
does not.
I assume he pauses as off to the right side of his desk, well, his right, your left, a slip of paper poofs into a tray, and he pulls it out and reads it and sighs, balls it up, and turns it to ash in a puff of fire. I'll take care of him later. Apparently, you have friends in interesting places. So what exactly is it you're looking for?
Frankly, what I'm looking for aren't small fries. I'm part of a religious order. She taps her holy symbol. That doesn't allow me to get tied down to any one place. So I haven't signed on with any guild. But as you can no doubt see from that recommendation, I am not some green bounty hunter who's out here stumbling over cut purses and brigands.
You'll be hard-pressed to find anything of any magnitude here. So if you're looking to make a great name for yourself, you are in the wrong place. And the fox pushes himself up, and one of the things you can see on the desk is the little shiny brass nameplate that says Rahu Ristretto. And then, as the fox gets out of his seat, suddenly all you can see are his ears above the desk. And he walks around.
He's small fox.
Yes, he's small. He's about the height of Minuet. Maybe a little shorter.
Minuet is 5'8", actually.
Yeah, I think he's closer to like 5'4", maybe a bit shorter.
That's a tall ass desk
Okay.
then.
Yeah, that may or may not have been done by his officers as a joke.
They got him one of those big, heavy
Oh,
hardwood desks.
Yeah, and he can't get it removed. And it's a solid piece. He's not sure how they got it in there. So he just got one of those
no.
chairs that he can
Well,
adjust the height of.
officers will do a lot of things for the sake of a practical joke.
It's a
He's
bar stool.
He's wearing uniform and looking up at the both of you with this sharp gaze. I assume you've heard about the cat burglaries, yes? An item here, an item there.
I have.
Something about a signet ring or something, I think, is one of the
that
things
was
that we
a
saw.
different.
That is
Oh, okay.
separate matter. The guy probably lost it in his couch. Rahu rolls his eyes and steps past the two of you, locks the door, and then locks it again with an arcane lock. What I'm going to tell you is not public information. So I expect the both of you not to let it leave this room. At least if you want to
Minuet
get
nods.
paid and not put in jail for a few days.
Seems reasonable.
Generally, this is phrased as more of a "you never heard what I said," and then I make some sort of joke about who said that. But yeah, I know the game.
Excellent. You're faster on the uptake than the half dozen or so other people who came in here trying to get me to give them work. And he gives a sort of non-committal gesture as he moves back to his desk and leans back against it, folding his arms. Let me get back to the notes here. We are fairly convinced that the cat burglaries are not done by one person. It's likely a group. It may even be organized. It could even be guild sanctioned, which would be most unfortunate. Every single item that has been stolen has a link. As far as my information goes, all of them bear a similar mark, some signifier that links their importance. Unfortunately, these items are not meant to be brought together. It is important that they remain separated. And if you happen to retrieve them, I would highly suggest you keep them separated.
And what happens if they are brought together?
I don't know. Unfortunately, and the fox looks off to some darkened corner of the office like he's glaring at someone. My informant has been very vague on the effects. Only that it would be... He taps his fingers a few times on the desk. A bad idea to let this happen. So clearly, these people know exactly what they're looking for. I can't exactly say if all the pieces are here in the city, but we're working under the assumption that they are.
Important question. Can they be scryed?
Good question. I'll let you know when the diviners finally make that work.
I see.
I merely asked about what happens if they're brought together for the purposes of determining motive. After all, there's a significant difference in, say, if they are all brought together, they form some sort of magical weapon, to if they are all brought together, they summon some sort of demon lord.
I wouldn't be concerned about outsiders, personally. Though, I suppose given his... Damn it, Sadie. Pinches the bridge of his snout.
Wait.
Never mind.
Okay.
All we know is that this would be a bad thing. And given the person who is my informant, them saying it's a bad thing could mean anything from a city block vanishing to entire islands coming crashing to the ground. And since that is
Oh,
a
boy.
wide margin of error, I would like it very much if this was done quickly. And when Rahu says that, he's loud. You know how loud Phoenix Foxes get? He can be loud.
Minuet is glad that he put in earplugs at this moment.
Cirrus is regretting not putting in the earplugs.
So, what else do you want to ask?
Where do we start?
Good question. Unfortunately, I can't just give you access to crime scenes. That's entirely unprofessional. And he sweeps around the side of his desk, gets back on his seat. There's a shuffling of drawers and papers as he pulls a few things out. And he does a finger gun at one of the back corners, and you see a spark of electricity, like something is shorting up there, very briefly. Let's see, about 10 seconds, and then a paper airplane flies at you, Cirrus.
Cirrus, having a 20 dex, is going to catch the paper airplane out of midair.
You didn't find out where they happened except from a newspaper, because somehow they always figure out where it happens. Also, you really should not cross the yellow tape, as people like to call it, and you should very much not interfere with the officers in their work or disturb any potential new evidence. Otherwise, I might need to proverbially hang the both of you, he says somewhat loudly. And he gives both of you a look as if he's expecting you to go.
Okay, considering that Cirrus is a sense motive machine, just want to make sure, is this the double speak, you definitely shouldn't do this, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, or the legitimately don't do this?
It's a little of both.
Don't get caught doing this.
Exactly.
Don't get caught. Don't fuck it up worse.
Yeah. Don't get caught. Don't fuck it up worse. And if you do, I might need to come back for you.
Oh boy.
Now I will thank you both to get out of my office!
Because Rahu.
Cirrus is not going to be intimidated by that quite just yet. She intends to get out of the office quite soon, but she has one more point she needs to bring up. What is the bounty?
Fox rolls his eyes and slides one hand over his face. He's actually making a bit of a show of it. If everything is returned in its pieces like it's supposed to be, I can authorize you. I don't know. I can probably drag 30K out of my superiors. Maybe.
That is acceptable.
Good. Any
I should now
size.
get out of your office.
Yes, you should. Because now, I need to drag James in here and make him temporarily deaf.
As you guys walk out of
Okay.
the office, you see one officer kind of motioning toward the door, smiling, while the other one seems to already have earplugs in. He's putting on earmuffs. He looks so smug right now.
Yeah, that's Rahu's men in a nutshell.
The truth is, they didn't let you into his office offering you a job. They did it to annoy him specifically.
Yeah. But damned if they aren't loyal.
Oh.
Where are you guys going next, by the way?
Let's open up the paper airplane and see what the deets are.
Open up the paper airplane that we just so happened to find in a newspaper.
Uh-huh.
It's mildly singed around the edges somehow, but there are some scribbled addresses on it, as well as a street corner.
Specifically, there are 5 addresses that are listed. It seems 3 of them are in the wealthy district, like the mega wealthy district. 2 of them seem to be in the moderate area, probably higher end apartments that aren't, actually lived in very often. Based on the things, it looks like the kind of business offices that, or business apartments that some people have in different cities, based on the name of the buildings. The street corner is weirdly in the way far north of town. And there is a strange symbol that is included in the corner. It kind of looks like an inverted A with 3 lines through it, like some sort of monetary attempt at a symbol that a child drew, but one side of the line is not exactly even, if that makes sense. It's kind of squiggly in a slight amount of way. I guess I could have said the letter V instead of the letter A, but
I would like to make 2 separate checks of knowledge religion and knowledge arcana.
feel free.
I don't know shit. 13 knowledge religion, 9 knowledge arcana.
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking knowledge arcana because my modifier is better than what you got. Fucking oh, that didn't even.
No, that
Well,
just,
okay,
that just
so
kind of flopped.
here. Come on. Let go of the. Okay, there. That's better. That's better. Woo! Okay, so that is a knowledge arcana 25.
Your knowledge arcana is going to tell you that this looks like the kind of thing that would be used as a lock. When you think about it, multiple pieces means that multiple mages were probably involved, and it probably was to lock something away.
I'm immediately thinking of a lock on a door in a extra dimensional space.
Unfortunately, you're
Kind
not
of.
sure anything other than that.
But no, I'm reminded of previous experience.
Yes.
Okay. So Cirrus,
Yeah?
he mentioned something about being worried about it being guild related.
Yeah, I
How
would
about we go find
definitely
out?
have. Yeah, I would definitely have that be the first thing to investigate.
Yep, because if it is guild related, we might not want to touch that. Maybe, probably not. But yeah, so let's go find a bar.
Sounds like you're going to
Or
move.
whatever other front company.
I'm assuming you're going to go ahead and roll a knowledge local or doing some gather information to find this location.
Yeah. Which one would you prefer?
It's up to you. Knowledge local is going to tell you
Alright.
about the local area or gather information. Though they each have their risks.
So diplomacy.
Yep.
Diplomacy. Okay.
Well, we know which
Gonna
one's
do
which
diplomacy.
one Cirrus is doing.
Yep. Sounds like you guys are gathering information.
Well, there's actually a good roll for once.
Well, yeah. So mine is going to be a 27.
And mine is 119 and 133.
Between the two of you together, you find out where probably it is. It looks like the front bar here isn't actually a bar. It sounds like it's actually being staged as just a normal shop here, with a back alley bar kind of style thing going on. This is actually in a shopping district, a heavily populated one for for obvious reasons. Not quite in the
Mhm.
rich area, just outside of, in a kind of street mall-esque type place. When you guys walk in, it seems like a clothier. A very flamboyant looking elf.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Standing behind the counter, looks up and says, "Welcome to Felipe's. How might I make you look fantastic?"
Wonderful.
I get the feeling you guys have dealt with this character before.
Yep.
Of the
Yep.
sorts.
Yep.
Tell me the gods would not bring Felipe's soul to this world.
Yeah. It's fucking goddamn it. I blame Vertilex.
That's fair.
You think he'd let his favorite clothier friend leave the world? Never.
Maybe just a
Anyways,
reincarnation.
Minuet, notes. Well, we're here on other business, but possibly.
Other business in my shop? Ha! What other business? Tell Felipe everything. He puts our arm around your shoulder.
Was gonna. Well, there's actually a lot of things. One, I was gonna ask about the whereabouts of a person. There's the score of the game. And some things about some items, among other things. There's a lot of stuff.
I don't pay attention to the score of the game. The score of the game's always messy and full of convoluted rules and... I could tell you who's losing, though. Me.
Oh.
I should stop placing bets.
Well, I'm sorry. But, yeah. So, yeah, I actually, kind of would well, hope that you know the whereabouts of the Bramwell branch, potentially, because I'm meeting a friend there. They're kind of, well, interesting.
You could say that about a lot of members. Why you don't bring Felipe
Um,
work? Felipe can make you look so fabulous.
Well,
But we'll
I
get there.
mean,
If you're asking, it's off Main Street, right beyond the bazaar, on the left. You can't miss
oh, in
it.
Bramwell? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. But anyways, yeah, the more important thing is, we, kind of have been doing some freelance work, and, got news about, some things that, might be, the doings of, the company.
Oh, we do a lot of things.
And we're wanting to make sure that we aren't stepping on anybody's toes.
He kind of gives you the motion, the half blah 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 go on motion.
Cirrus? If you want to share.
Okay, I mean, this part is a bit more your forte than mine. I'm not quite used to quite all of the doublespeak involved, but we've I look for people that
He's a bounty hunter.
yep, yeah, but how shall I put this? I respect the freedoms of the more well, no, let's just go with freedom inclined people such as the guild. And we don't want to go after any of their members, provided they're doing guild work. However, if someone is freelancing under the guild's nose, I believe that both of our interests would align in this matter.
He's doing that thing where he's got one arm crossed and he's got one hand underneath his chin, and he goes, I could outfit you in such a beautiful sky blue dress. And I am listening.
Well, we've got locations of some scenes that might be correlated.
All right, well, what do you have for Felipe?
Well,
Seriously,
we
gonna
found a
turn to
thing in a
minuet.
newspaper.
Seriously, going to turn to minuet for a second. The symbol?
That and probably the locations. We might as well just. I mean, if we're gonna let them know, we might as well just let them know. So we found this thing in a newspaper. So
You better not be working with that Zavis fellow.
what?
Never mind, never mind. Oh, great, my headphones are dying. I'm gonna have to get my charger. Never mind, never mind. Let me see this paper. Let Felipe look with his eyes.
Is the scorched paper we received actually an official document?
Unlikely, no.
It's probably just a piece of paper with a little bit of scorching.
Yeah.
From a fireball trick spell.
Here's the information we have at the moment. Cirrus will show Felipe the paper.
He'll take it. He'll go behind his desk and he'll pull out a very tiny pair of glasses. He'll hold it up in a dramatic pose, adjust his glasses a little bit, and be like, nope. We don't deal with magic or things that are sealing something away.
So it's not guild. It's not guild related. So I take it the
Absolutely
guild would
not.
have. So I take it the guild would have no issues with us dealing with these particular cat burglars.
Felipe goes, that's one problem. Unless you want to extort them, we do allow extortation, but no. And then he puts the glasses away, and he holds out the paper.
Is there anything the guild might be able to tell us about this, so we can make this little independent contractor go away?
If you must. He points at the seal. There was a group of mages in the early days that sealed away something a long time ago. Yet, I have no idea about it. I just know their group name. Felipe liked their outfits and did some studying on them. Felipe likes the star theme that they had. Felipe is angry that it turned out that these mages all disappeared and did not leave any real instructions on how to replicate the robes, because they were said to be beautiful and flowing. Felipe thinks that they disbanded and hid. Felipe is very angry and would like to find out how they did it, because the robes were said to be amazing. Just amazing.
Well, if we can find anything out about the robes in our endeavors, we will be sure to repay any information you're able to provide us in kind.
The Selaha Archmages. Such a beautiful name, don't you think?
Quite.
Yeah.
But alas,
But,
that's all I can provide you.
It's a start.
well, yeah.
We have more information than we came here with, and that is always a plus.
Now,
Hmm.
how about
Well,
we talk about clothing? I am done with all this business stuff.
Actually, we do have a dinner date, kind of, with a, well, a potential client, possibly.
I see.
I was thinking of going with something, I don't know, what's in fashion?
It depends on the crowd.
I'm sorry. I immediately imagined Felipe going, "You ask Felipe, what is in fashion? I will show you what's in fashion."
No, he's not there yet. Right now, he is sitting here going, it depends on who you're talking to. Because potential client means a lot of different things to him.
Okay, he's a freaking lawyer, but I was kind of wanting to dress up.
He goes, so drab, so boring. Felipe does not agree with this. Felipe will not do something boring. We shall do something fantastic.
Minuet just kind of has a smirk.
Considering the payday on this job, if we're successful, I believe I could come back and commission an outfit from you. It won't be a dress. I don't do dresses.
But you would look so wonderful in a long, flowing sky blue dress. One that can be torn off in the heat of battle.
Okay, that's closer.
Practical. Okay.
Then you get to wear the leggings underneath. And look even more fantastic. Now about you.
Considering we're talking about matters of fashion here, no one in chat has commented on my new hat.
Oh? I haven't peeked into stream recently, so
That is a hat. That is a hat.
I'm the party's white mage, so I figured I'd wear a white mage.
Fair enough.
that's wonderful.
Now you little foxy. Shall we do something
Uh-huh.
colorful for you?
Possibly.
If you're going to be around somebody so boring as a lawyer, you should be the center of the party, yes? I say a commanding bright red, as I go into pirate for some reason. A power suit!
Okay. Now, wait.
Don't
Red.
leave it to Felipe.
Now, don't get upset. Don't get upset at what I'm about to do. But do you mean this color of red? And then Minuet swift shape changes into his true form.
I mean, consider we're talking about meeting a lawyer, and you talked about a red suit. This is the only thing I immediately thought of.
And Felipe falls over.
And then Minuet puts his mask back on.
He looks slightly terrified and goes, Felipe do not know what kind of weird magic you use in his shop, but don't do that again.
No, this is the weird magic. That, yeah. Well, anyway, it's complicated, but, that red.
No. He tugs you over to a rack and he pulls out a very bright red suit. Like with one of those blazing red sparkly jackets.
This might be a bit too much.
You said what is in fashion.
Squint.
But
Squinting
does
is
this
correct.
jacket have a cravat?
I've actually got to look that word up. Not currently. It is unneeded. It is bright enough. I just lost my gay card, didn't I?
Oh no!
Oh no.
I mean, I'm basically asking on a scale of 1 to Edgeworth.
Michael Jackson.
Okay, so close. Okay. I mean, okay, so how much is it?
I can let this one go for 30 gold. As I go Mario, apparently. Man, I can't do flamboyantly gay sometimes. Where is my little flamboyant gay guy?
It's
Maybe-
me,
So well at
Felipe.
I just need to go and get some of the other brand of water in me. That's probably the issue.
Yeah. Well, Minuet shells out 30 gold.
He will go ahead and take the time to fit it to you, which unfortunately means that he's going to take you to a back room and have you strips. That way it's well fitted.
Woo.
Since you said it was a little loud, he will tone it down to a certain degree. Mainly in the shirt and the pants, that way that the jacket can shine, but he'll downplay it a little bit. A little.
Uh-huh.
A little.
Okay.
Congratulations, you have a very loud red suit.
Woo. Wonderful.
So if you want to do the Felipe voice, I recommend going with Cosmos, which I do believe to be the gayest drink there is.
I've got other things.
But Wanda!
Speaking of which, I need to go grab the charger for my headphones, and I'm going to go grab my medication so I don't have to pause. Do you guys want some open roleplay after leaving that madness? And I promise
so,
later on to do a better job with Felipe because I'm kind of disappointing in my level of gay there.
Oh,
I
gosh.
feel that we'll be back. I feel that somehow we're gonna
Wait.
fucking...
You have to bring Darren and Ix there. Ix needs a Felipe dress.
Yes.
And Cirrus was dead serious about a tearaway dress with leggings.
But anyways, yeah, so I gather we head back to the ship and we all meet at the ship.
Very likely. You guys probably had some information to transfer. Darren's gonna have to use the sending stone to tell you where the ship is, though.
Yeah, as soon as the ship is parked and the dock is paid for, Darren tells them where it is. He doesn't sound very happy. Grumbling something about
okay.
3.5 fucking gold.
Also, just in general, both Darren and the captain should probably know about a lucrative payday opportunity we've come across.
Yes.
Also, what was the? Does anyone remember what the bounty was on the fortified island bandits?
Oh, it was...
That's 50,000.
Yeah, 50,000. Because you got to take out the frickin' siege engines first.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was just trying to remember what magnitude that was. That's always been in the back of Cirrus's mind, waiting until she can, like, cast Dimension Door or Teleport Person or something.
Yeah. Or, yeah, those would be the easiest.
I mean, also considering what siege engines are definitely not built for, any sort of mass flying spell would probably be good too.
I have another wild idea, though.
Oh dear.
They wouldn't, have the opportunity to react if you came at them from below.
That's true. We could come up from the mists.
That is assuming we can stay out of their range long enough to do so. And gosh, that would require some maneuvering. Because we don't know the locations of their siege engines. So we could end up popping up and getting blasted.
Yeah.
We also don't know the format of their siege engines, besides the fact that one is a ballista, and what their angles are.
Yeah. Though here is definitely a thing that I feel is worth mentioning. Taking out their siege engines is definitely a way of dealing with that island. But as a counterpoint, free siege engine.
I just had the most wonderful fucking idea. You know how there's the whole, don't do this near a cluster because it'll summon up scary things?
No.
No. That's going super out of our way.
I
No,
know.
that's currently literally on the other side of the map at the moment. But also, for other reasons, no.
No, Dad Fox.
I am back. Medication has been taken. By the way, Vari, guess what I have on hand?
What?
I have lime juice. I also forgot to grab the charger for my headset.
Oh, so you're trying the thing.
Yes.
Yeah, even if we flew directly, it's like 52.4 inches, which is... if we sped all the way... Also, by the way, going in a direct line risks us over the Godfall craters. Let's see.
And flies us directly over mountains, or over
And
islands.
mountains, clusters, etc.
Yeah, no.
That's 26 days.
Damn.
But yeah, Cirrus has
Yeah, no.
another thought that she definitely needs to run past someone.
Oh?
These archmages. There's AFK right now, right?
Nope, I'm here. I'm back.
Okay.
I was just plugging in my headset. So that way it
Okay,
doesn't
so-
die.
Going back to the ship where everyone is. Cirrus is going to broach the idea that she has found a juicy payday for them to work with. She's more or less going to just fill in Ix and Darren on the all of the
The whole
particulars
ordeal.
that were, totally don't get caught doing this type stuff.
Scary Finnick.
And 30K payday. And they're trying to assemble all of the magical things in order to let loose something we don't want them to. We don't know what it is, other than bad.
Hey, so Darren's gonna take a few minutes to study that symbol and flip through his book.
Yep, go ahead and make your roll.
What should I use? Arcana?
If you want this, you can roll either religion or arcana. They will give you different subsets of information.
I don't have religion. My religion is 0. I know I can roll it anyway, but
So arcana it is.
But one of the things Cirrus wants to bring up is that it could entirely be a coincidence. But she can't help but notice that these archmages of Selaha sure sounds a hell of a lot like some other magical being we've heard of.
I mean, star motif sounds very similar.
Yeah, I
Darren
mean,
says as he's looking through his book.
could entirely have something to do with Seiya.
Selaha might be a minor deity related to Seiya. Also, I'm going to use my lore master for the day. So
Okay.
that the total, since I can take 20 on that and get my +4, is 37.
Also, it entirely just occurred to me from an entirely, like, this would not have occurred to Cirrus, this is entirely out of character, but from an etymological standpoint, Sela might have some etymological root in Selene, which it would be moon.
So they're not actually associated with Seiya. Surprisingly. The moon is correct, however. They were divinators who saw a demigod-like being, supposedly, and sealed him away somewhere under the mists.
Ugh.
As far as what being and how they knew where it was and how to seal it, that information is flat out not present. But
They
their
saw a-
entire organization came together to lock this being away, and then they disassembled afterwards.
And now some
So-
fucking lunatics are trying to assemble the key.
So that's what Darren gets out of it for
Yes.
Knowledge Arcana?
Yes,
Awesome.
otherwise, there isn't really much information about it. They're just a bunch of diviners that saw something, got scared, organized, did a thing, and then deorganized.
And then Cirrus realizes, this time again from an etymological perspective, how fitting calling these people lunatics.
Honestly, they don't sound much different from those stories that people tell about old adventurers. They band together, take off, and disband as soon as the threat is done. It would make a lot of sense, but what concerns me is the idea that all of the pieces to the seal would be here. That doesn't make any sense. If they disbanded, each one should want to take a piece of the seal somewhere else in the world. That is, unless
Unless it has
Whoever's-
to be here.
Unless it's tied to this place.
that could be so. Or we can go for the more sinister line of thought, and this group that's been stealing the pieces has been bringing them here, bit by bit. But that's mastermind levels of manipulation, and I really don't want to, think about that.
So I'm gonna just
What if
I'm just gonna say something that no doubt was in the back of your mind while talking about the stories of tales of old adventurers. Does this mean that we're only going to be able to find and stop this immediately after they summon this demigod?
To be fair, we were a little late to stop the angel, Darren rolls his eyes.
I mean, you're not wrong, and I mean, from what they told us, this is in our job description now.
Yep.
I mean, we were basically told we are the gods' wet work guys, and if there's someone they'd want to have stab a demigod in the throat, it would be us.
Well, regardless, we are getting paid for this. More specifically, you two are getting paid for this, so I suppose that will be reason enough. Besides, the
Yeah.
more amenities we can outfit this ship with, the closer we can come to becoming a mix between a casino and a merchant vessel.
Hey, I do have cards. Y'all, okay, later.
Darren says, clearly joking, well, as the player, I reference FF6.
Setzer.
I mean, if they want to test their odds, they can certainly do that.
But Sirius is also going to sigh and say, and more to the point, I don't want a petulant demigod rampaging around.
Fair.
Also, I really don't think you should gamble with those cards, Minuet.
No, not those cards. I've got other cards. I've got dice too.
Random flash of green in Darren's eyes. I almost said Victor because that's my name in the Discord. I wonder if you could enchant dice to be an effective throwing weapon.
Probably.
Okay, seriously, stop bringing up Setzer.
No!
Yeah, probably I'm just going to take a shot in the dark here. Something, it's probably whispering to these guys through the lock in its whatever its seal and promising them admittance into the Mount Olympus Country Club after it's free.
That's
Well,
one way to put it.
That's how these ancient evils in a can tend to operate.
You say like we don't have lunatics all over Olorun who worship the mist itself.
oh yeah.
Well, yeah, fair. Out of character, I just wanted to say the phrase Mount Olympus Country Club.
Greek mythology in a nutshell. That and what's the? It's also a soap opera.
Greek mythology in a
Oh,
nutshell. And then Zeus fucked it.
You're not wrong.
The funny part is that's one of the way that the early Greeks and Romans used to dominate new cultures that they'd overtake. So they'd come and see their gods and be like, our god married your god. And they had kids. So we have the same faith now. Welcome to the club.
Yep.
Well,
Anyways, also we met a clothier that is flamboyant. and extravagant. Also, I got this, and then gestures to new clothes.
I wasn't going to ask, but I mean they are
I mean,
a little
we're going
loud.
for dinner.
I mean, Darren puts his tome away and sort of gestures at himself. I was just going to go in this.
Hmm. Eh.
Out of character, this is your chance to force Darren to put on nice clothes.
Darren. 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 Darren.
Just every time you say that, he blinks.
Darren.
Fancy clothes, though. I mean, if you don't want to have to go deal with Philippe, I do have these, and he pulls off sleeves of mini garments and offers them.
That's alright. It's probably good that I get more clothes. He says really awkwardly as he realizes he doesn't have that many changes of clothes.
Ixadrass squints.
Coughs into his hand and looks away.
She can smell your lack of wardrobe.
Ixadrass,
What?
you want to go shopping
Okay,
before we go to dinner?
You get a very intense feline gaze snapped to you.
okay.
Oh.
Considering how much money we owe at the moment, and considering the fact that there is concerns about again a demigod rampaging around, maybe we could save the shopping trip until after this has been resolved.
There's only so many hours in the day, Cirrus. And we do need to meet Sir Ian tonight.
Yeah, so I guess we ought to get ready for that. Hey,
As much as I hate to delay things.
What time tonight?
About 8 p.m.
Is that before or after sunset?
That is after sunset currently.
Excellent.
Oh no.
Which means Cirrus is going to have the opportunity to prepare spells for this.
Fantastic.
nice.
Preparing spells.
Says the sorcerer.
Yeah, you see, here's the thing. You don't have to prepare spells and can do spells from everything you know. I, on the other hand, have a reason that I can, ever know Hidden Spring, or Iron Beer, or Magic Stone, or Poisoned Egg. I've not come into, well, actually, Magic Stone probably did have some situations where it would come up, but most of these I've never had a reason to cast. But I can!
But I can threaten people with the fact that I can summon these.
Out of character, Lord Beerus has proclaimed that shopping is way more important than stopping a demigod. What if you miss a good sale? I mean,
Exactly.
you need those sale prices. Oh, there's Felipe. I found him.
Yes.
Yeah, allow me to elucidate on this even further. You see, after the demigod rampages around, everything is free.
I mean, you're not wrong. But Ixadrass is also not enough of a pauper to fucking rely on free shit. It offends her sensibilities.
Her nobility is showing.
It has to every once in a while.
Deku points out the fact, to be fair, there's probably more rampaging demigods in an average fantasy setting than there are good tailors.
Also fair.
Fair.
So
Fair.
we kind of need to, keep the rampaging demigod from, murdering the general area near Philippe.
Yep.
You guys called to the gnome or the gnome.
Dwarf. We
The
don't have a gnome
dwarf.
on this ship.
He is going to kind of saunter his way up. He has been carrying around his axe like a 3-year-old that has a new toy.
Darren
so-
raises an average.
We have a lawyer to meet at, I'm pretty sure it's a bar that we're going to.
Oh, right, you guys never figured out what the place was specifically. He shrugs and says, "Do you got a cloak?"
Darren looks over at Minuet, gestures to the sleeve of many garments. That'll work, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, technically, yeah.
If you get arrested, I want these back. And then he hands the sleeves of many garments to him.
He shrugs and says, "This is your job," and he now has a fairly nice rain cloak on. And he pulls up the hood. He tries to conceal the tattoo, but you can kind of tell it's starting to burn because he's adjusting it until it's kind of partially hidden, maybe kind of not really.
Okay, close enough. So, I gather we hang around a little bit, and then, I mean, we could swing by the clothiers, but, might not be convenient with friend here because because of guards.
Fair.
How about this? You already went to the clothier. Cirrus can guide Ixidras and I there, and you can make contingency plans with our friend here.
And
Okay.
maybe gather some information about the place you're going.
Yep.
Yep.
So, how does that sound?
Works
I
for me.
mean, well, Sirius has spell preparation to do, right? So, you want to hang here with the dwarf guy, and I'll take them to the place, and then we meet up at the restaurant, or wherever it is, whatever it is. I'll
We
find
really
out.
should figure out the wherever it is, whatever it is. I think that's
Yeah. So,
going to be more. I think that is a higher priority than the shop.
okay, fine. If we have
Squint.
spare time, I'll take them there.
Gwent.
I mean,
So me, X, Darren, we go and gather information, and then maybe clothier, and you do the prepare thing and make sure the dwarf doesn't get in trouble.
Or of course, I'll
something.
just hide behind the axe, and he holds it in front of his face.
I guess that works.
we can play it off as a religious thing.
Okay,
So go
So,
ahead.
let's go.
Go roll your gather informations, aka diplomacies.
Okay.
Knowledge local is also applicable here.
Whew.
Oh, okay.
Breaking out the calculator so I'm not doing math in public.
But the math.
21 knowledge
Third.
local.
39 diplomacy.
Are you rolling at all, Ixidras?
What am I rolling?
Diplomacy for gather information or knowledge local if you'd like to try and figure it out on your own.
Heh. No. Not with my modifiers.
Ix is just following along haughtily with the whole, like, doing the nose turned up freaking
Noble thing.
noble thing.
Yes.
It is Minuet who's going to get the information here. Specifically, this is a bar known as the Sky Shore. The Sky Shore has a little bit of a reputation of possibly having back rooms for meetings of the kind that don't happen in the public rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly, if you have certain connections that you can prove, you can possibly get access to one of these back rooms and use it for whatever purposes.
Mm-hmm.
It is odd that a lawyer, or somebody like Ian, who technically is a prosecutor for Olorun United, would use this place, considering the kind of deals that tend to go back or on back there.
It's a neutral ground,
Oh, it absolutely is not a neutral ground.
is what you're saying.
No, it is very much not a neutral ground.
Oh, okay. So
Okay, so just making sure we're not talking about any liminal spaces here, right?
No. No
Okay,
liminal
good.
spaces. I am absolutely that mean, not in this case. I would suggest not going into the background. By the way, the moment you said that, sir, somebody else was asking if you can clip out of bounds too. I suggest not clipping out of bounds in Olorun. If you think real life backrooms are scary, wait until you see Oloruns.
Oh boy.
Ooh, buddy.
Nope, this is definitely the kind of place where thieves are hired, where pirates might do background dealings, where people might get paid to kill other people.
Wonderful.
And you only get that because you have black market connections. Because, yeah, you're asking the right people.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
They've been to the back rooms before in Olorun, just not here, and not televised. I think I have it all recorded, though, so I could technically post it.
We have?
Yes. Halloween.
Yeah,
or
the other
Halloween,
group.
The other group.
Oh.
With Fret.
Yep.
Right.
Rip Fret.
That potentially non-canon whatever it is.
Yes. We'll see. I don't know if I recorded it or not. I think I recorded part of it, but I think my software broke down. I don't remember. Do you guys really have time for Felipe? Unfortunately, not quite. You guys are probably cutting it close.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Era, the 3 spells I am dropping from my normally prepared little thing, I am just going to DM you what I've got prepared.
Yep. And come on. Oh, I approve. I like that. Good choices.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Are you guys meeting up outside of the bar before going in?
Probably should.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yep.
The moment you walk in, it looks like a really shitty dive bar. You guys walk in, it's somewhat busy. It's the kind that are filled with sailors. Definitely have the bartender that doesn't seem to give really much of a damn. Currently running back and forth, handing out beers as people walk up to the bar because it is a pickup bar. It is not the kind where there's servers.
For the record, I'm going to have cultural adaptation set to go when it comes in.
Yep. You can see the crowd is kind of rough. There's definitely what looks like a play brawl going on in the corner, like where they're intending to fight. You're pretty sure that at some point in time they're going to start throwing real punches, but it hasn't quite gotten there yet. It's more of the I'm being the big man situation going on right now.
Darren just leans over towards Minuet and Ixodras. His hands are behind his back. So you said something about needing fancy clothes?
Exactly.
Yeah, like, isn't this just the perfect thing for here? And gestures at his flamboyant garb.
Ixodras motions to her two newest appendages and just goes, proper clothing will make dealing with these much less irritating.
Darren rolls his eyes. If we have time tomorrow before investigating, we'll go.
Cirrus is also going to make use of her sleeve of many garments to put herself into some professional looking something.
Fantastic. Minuet,
Darren,
go ahead.
I was going to say, Darren already looks like a professional. He buttoned up his coat.
Oh my god.
He covered the tits.
Are you guys just going to grab a table? Or are you guys going to do anything else? And Minuet, did you share any of this information?
What, about the backrooms?
Yes.
Yeah, with the Darren and Ix at least. I'm not sure if probably once Cirrus gets there. There's
Cirrus
probably
and Dwarf.
backrooms. We could.
By the way, you guys look up, the dwarf is already at the bar, the hood's down, he's saying, "Give me a beer!"
Dwarf plus bar equals drunk dwarf.
Yep. Minuet would call out to the bartender, something about not too much for him. He's got somebody to talk to.
The barkeep just kind of shrugs and hands him a beer. He gives no fucks.
Okay. One beer does not make a drunk dwarf, usually, hopefully.
7 beers usually doesn't make a drunk dwarf.
I don't know. It's been a while since he's had alcohol.
Allow me to raise a counterpoint. A dwarf.
What is your guys' plans? You're standing inside of a rowdy bar. Some of you dressed very, very fantastically.
Oh,
which
I thought we went and got a table.
nobody said. That.
Oh.
No.
Yeah. But
Minuet's gonna suggest, so we can see if, Ian has already reserved a room. And then, I guess approaches the bar. And is like, has a individual by the name of Ian, by chance, reserved a room?
He shakes his head no. He goes, no.
Well, shit.
Do you need a room? He looks
Yeah,
you
it
up
might
and down
help.
a little bit, raises an eyebrow, and he goes, "You do realize we don't have those kind of rooms, right?"
No. Also, man, Philippe, this isn't that kind of outfit.
He shrugs, I don't know. He points to the people in the bar and he goes, "This is what I'm used to. That is something. That is something." What organization are you with, by the way?
Well, we're not with an organization.
so Darren's going to just walk up behind Minuet, and he's going to not so subtly say the name of Sir Ian's law firm.
The man stares at you deadpan and goes, "You would bring that man into our back rooms?"
Don't look at me. They decided the location.
He rolls his eyes and he shouts, "Law enforcement's gonna show up."
Oh dear.
You see a bunch of people freeze. And he goes, "Yeah, get out. There's a prosecutor showing up. Just if you're in trouble, get the hell out. Pay your tabs first."
Yep. Yep.
Leave it to Darren to ruin the fun!
Not as many people leave as you think they would. But there are people that pay their tabs and leave very quickly.
For the record, was not our idea.
It wasn't. Ian was hoping you guys would get a back room so that way he could prove they existed.
Sorry! But also not sorry, Sir Ian.
He says, "Fine, we'll deal with them." I mean, or whatever.
Yep. So, I gather we'll take a, front room seat.
Please. We don't want him knowing about this place.
Sounds reasonable.
Did Darren unintentionally help the Pirate Guild side of things? While
Yes,
trying
he
to do
did.
stuff for the law office side of things?
Pretty much. I mean, this is used by more than just pirates, mind you.
Well, yeah, I know, but, like, basically, Darren helped the non-law line side of things while trying to help the law line side of things.
So,
Wait.
small pause.
I have an important question.
Yep.
Is there a scorch mark on, the wall behind the bar?
No.
Damn. So it's not that bar.
Nope.
Damn.
Different bar.
Yep.
This one has a name.
Yes. Nope. Nope. Ian was hoping that you guys would show him the back rooms. That way he knows of possible places where certain very massive crimes take place so he can follow up. But no, he's going to show up and you guys are going to be in the corner and he's going to be like, "Well, damn, that didn't work."
Yep.
Yeah.
It was
before
worth a
we
shot.
before we go into the back room, Cirrus would like to.
We don't.
We don't. Okay.
Nope, Darren screwed that up.
Well, Cirrus is going to, regardless, order a 25 GP bottle of alcohol, preferably rum or something of the sort.
Understood. He's more than happy to hand it over. Most people get the cheap shit here.
Woo. So Minuet eyes that and is like, "So what's the special occasion?"
What's the occasion whenever I order alcohol?
Oh. Okay. Say hi to him once, things for me.
Will do.
Okay.
You guys go take a seat somewhere, and there's a lot of eyes awkwardly traveling over your table occasionally.
Uh-huh.
And then give me one moment. I suddenly need to use the bathroom. I needed to get another drink. Then I'll describe what's about to happen, so you guys have a little bit of open role play time while you're basically being judged by a crowd of people.
Uh-huh.
And I gotta shut windows because storm's coming.
Yep, Minuet, is well aware that he sticks out like a sore thumb and is not upset.
Darren's just got a notebook out and is doing some scribbling in it, looking mildly bored. Completely oblivious of the screw-up.
It wasn't a screw-up.
He was just being honest when he really shouldn't have been honest.
But we're totally playing both sides anyways, so it's kind of okay.
And we're better at it than the other group.
Cirrus is probably going to turn to someone giving them the stink eye and say, "Oh, piss off, we're doing this to give Sky Patrol a bloody nose."
Darren notices someone else staring and then stares back at them. And he just has that same cold expression on until they get unnerved and look away. The benefits of having the creepy black sclera eyes.
Yeah. So, Ix,
Yes,
how you doing?
I'm okay.
Oh,
I am
all we got was the I am there.
tired.
Oh,
Oh.
it's a good thing you aren't listening to chill lo-fi like I am.
Or my stream playlist, because we're not in combat. Because they actually made a combat playlist.
Finally.
Woo.
So, sorry about that. I also walked into a screen. I'm gonna just honestly admit that I went to go shut a door, turned around, and walked directly into a screen door just now. So,
Oh,
I get to be proud of that
Oh,
for the
no.
rest of my life. I'm honestly
Oh, no.
admitting it because I'm actually kind of amused at my stupidity there.
Did you damage the screen or did you just bump into the screen?
I bounced off, thankfully. So, no
Okay.
damage to the screen, but I definitely just walked into a screen door.
So were you hearing what we were saying while we were open role playing?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
The man's still going to give you a finger, and the guy that's being stared back at is going to slowly turn away. Exactly 5 minutes after 8, for anybody that's actually paying attention to the time. Let me go ahead and get you guys an image, because I can send this to you guys in general art. For those that haven't seen this before.
Was this when, like, exactly when we were told he would be coming?
No, he's exactly 5 minutes late. It's probably intentional. It's probably a nobility thing.
out of character, I knew he'd be fashionably late.
It's kind of expected out of nobles to be fashionably late. This gentleman is about 16 feet tall, extravagantly well-dressed half-dragon of probably black dragon origins. His large wings drag on the ground that he only obviously becomes actual wings when he moves them. Otherwise, it kind of looks like just a very expensive cloak. He is definitely something monstrous. He definitely looks like he's skinnier than he should be, but he's rounder in other places. Probably a screw-up of his genetics. With him, he has a very large, fancy-looking hammer. A Lunar hammer. That looks pristine and clean. He is wearing an unusually large amount of gold. Both on his horns, along his wings, along his hands. And this guy has to
Oh,
bend
doesn't he
over in the bar.
particularly
What?
doesn't he particularly have a crown on?
Not right now, because he only wears that when he's fighting.
Ah, okay.
Yep. Next to him is a very short kobold, maybe about 3 feet tall, wearing those big circular glasses, writing in a book as he walks, wearing nothing but a very nice button-up shirt and a nice pair of pants. This guy takes up an extravagant amount of space, and the moment he walks in, a lot of people stop and stare. He takes 3 steps in, closes the door casually with his tail, and just says, "I am not here to arrest anybody. You guys can do whatever the hell you want. I am here on business. And if you ignore me, I'll pay your bar tabs." And then he looks directly at you guys, looks slightly disappointed, and then looks at the bartender and goes, "I know the rooms exist. And then he just comes to your table.
Minuet waves.
He looks at the chairs, he realizes that the chairs do nothing, and like an adult sitting at a toddler's little play table, sits down. The little kobold beside him hops up and just uses his tail. He has definitely put himself between the exit and you guys.
Because of course he did.
And he says, "Hello, gentlemen. I believe you are Lady
Hi.
Ixadrass. You would be Menuet, Cirrus the Bounty Hunter, and Darren from the Rangers."
Darren nods and puts his notebook away.
The dwarf just looks up, and the first words out of his mouth is, "You're fat!" And the half-dragon looks directly at Ixadrass and goes, "Please make sure he doesn't say anything too stupid tonight."
Oh, well, if he gets arrested, he gets arrested.
Not my intent. His petty crimes wouldn't be worth my time. With the extradition and everything else, it'd just be a drain on my funds. I'd rather the city take care of that. However, you have brought to my desk some pretty hefty accusations, I hear. Do you care to explain?
That sigil on his head
Sigil.
is a
It's
multi-layered.
the word criminal.
Yeah, but magically it's more than that. It's a multi-layered contingency.
He looks at the kobold. The kobold looks up for a moment, then just nods and goes back to writing, and he goes, "I see. Not quite
Nope.
the part I was interested in, but understandable."
Near burned it into my hand as I tried to remove it from him.
I heard something about indentured servitude.
Yeah, that was the original plan for all those with his ailment. But he got away. One of the few, probably. And I do believe that it is something to do with some major corporations.
And Sky Patrol.
As I said, these are major accusations that you bring to the table. I assume no reports exist of this. No police reports or
doubtful.
anything.
If they did,
Doubtful.
they are buried or gone. Which I would assume means that there is some influence on that end of things that is burying them.
It wouldn't be too much of a surprise once again. Usually those that walk around with something like that on their forehead are not trusted too well. However, the burden of proof does rely on mains. Do you happen to have any proof?
Darren gestures towards the dwarf.
He
He is proof.
just
all it
points
would
to the
take-
forehead.
All it would take is a quick analysis of the brand itself.
Well, that is true. It could have been done by anybody, not necessarily just the Sky Patrol.
True. But I happen to be aware that in this city there should be someone somewhere capable of sifting through memory.
And it's not like I would assume a law office as prestigious as yours wouldn't have access to the necessary spells to verify the veracity of someone's claims.
There are limits to what can and cannot legally be done without certain proceedings. While, yes, I could have Mir here. He motions to the little kobold. Get signatures and stamps and all sorts of other things. We would need to go about things within the light of the law. Especially
Fair.
with claims of this level. And while I would love to say I fully believe you, people do dumb things for what bad reasons. Does the dwarf have a description of the person? Would you mind if I took a report and just kept it on the sidelines until other things happen? Maybe leave you guys to your own devices. Maybe you could gather more information, bring more information to my table.
Yeah, we could possibly.
He gave us a description of the guy who put the tattoo brand on him back a while ago, didn't he?
Oh, shit. He might have.
I believe it was a woman. But you might want to double check notes.
I. Plan.
But whatever the case, I'm all for having him be interviewed and such.
Now, I do have to state that making such an accusation, whether in good intent or not, that is false, is something that I would take into great prejudice, considering I've had to step out of my current duties and show up here. Just to put it on the table, that I am not nice if you waste my time.
That's fair.
Believe me, with the number of stops and the number of islands we need to make, and have made in the past couple of weeks, we are not looking to waste anyone's time, least of all our own.
In which case, why don't we start at the beginning? I would like to know how you guys found this individual, and what stopped you from bringing him in immediately.
Okay. So, for brevity's sake, Darren is going to explain how we met the dwarf initially, including in as much detail as he can without, potentially, quote-unquote, aggravating any other patrons, assuming any of them are actually trying to listen in.
And I don't think we need to give,
Yeah, but this is Darren.
We need to give full information, but we only need to we don't need to go into specifics about the actual scam going on in the farm. We just need to, say that.
That matters, Mickle Fury settled on its own anyway. Basically,
but, effectively a drug bust that we stumbled upon the.
The dwarf wasn't really part of the whole drug thing. The dwarf was hired by the drug ring to do certain things. So
basically being used as a cat's paw that they could remove from the equation after he had served his purpose.
Yeah, and Darren will relay, to the best of his abilities, the account that the dwarf gave of his story, since the dwarf was one of the bandits who survived the encounter and did not flee, and also the fact that Darren took an interest in the dwarf since he apparently had a connection to Carnaxus, which intrigued him, just as an explanation of the mercy.
Sirius will point out that for all intents and purposes, the dwarf has been a model quote-unquote prisoner during this entire time. and the worst thing he's done is annoy our cook.
And we'll just kind of nod along. You notice the kobold is writing down jam near everything that is being said. And he finally turns to the dwarf and goes, "Now I need to understand this list of petty crimes." And the dwarf just goes, "I'm branded a criminal. It's on my forehead. What the hell else was I supposed to do?" And Ian goes, "File a report." And he goes, "Uh-huh. You're stupid, aren't you?" And the half-dragon just looks back at the rest of the party with that look again.
Minuet just kind of does the open arm shrug, head tilted.
That's not the series of words I would use. I would say it's fairly apparent that filing a report wouldn't have been possible. The brand itself serves as an indicator. If anything, it would have been basically the same as turning himself in, regardless of whether he had done anything or not at the time. And it is distinctly possible that whomever it is that is responsible for this branding may have connections, Darren shrugs, everywhere. That's information that we don't have yet. Speculation, as you would call it.
Also, dwarves, diplomatic language, choose.
He just sighs and goes, "Mira, would you please?" And Mira holds up a piece of paper and he slides it forward to you guys and he goes, "Were you guys present during the incident where all this happened? And what makes you so sure that it was the Sky Patrol that did this in the first place and not pretenders or other sort of things?"
Unfortunately, we
Pirates.
were not present during the time when he was branded. So, no, we can't be sure. Not without sifting through his memories, and given the nature of the brand, we can't be sure they haven't been tampered to protect identities.
And the best I can say at this point in time is, if you would, he looks at the dwarf, write down a full and best description of you can of the person that did this on the sheet of paper. And the dwarf says, "Why? What are you gonna do?"
He's going to save your skin.
The half-dragon cuts in and goes, "Attempt. I make no promises in matters of such things. Unfortunately, whoever did this, if he is telling the truth," he motions at the dwarf, "and isn't actually done something to deserve it in the first place, or just ran in with the wrong group, I can't guarantee we'll find the person that is responsible." As it sounds like you guys have very little to go on.
Yeah, that's kind of why we were hoping to consult with you, because you hopefully would have something for us to. Yeah.
Best I can do is file an official report, and while I do my other business, hope somebody fitting the description shows up. Names, locations, dates would be best. But I can't just barge into the headquarters of the Sky Patrol demanding they look for somebody fitting that description in their ranks without something concrete. Whether or not I do that anyways, and whether or not something comes of it, is another situation entirely. But we're going to start with the report. And if you guys come up with other information, other proof, or such things, you can feed it to me and we'll see what we can do. As far as the branding goes, he looks over at the kobold, and the kobold seems to scribble something down and hand it up. And he reads it over and he goes, It can be removed, but it likely has some sort of key that would need to be gained, or passphrase to avoid permanent damage.
Which likely brings us back to needing to find the person who laid the spell in the first place.
Ixodras.
Or digging through their memories until they remember whatever the sorcerer said when doing it.
Ixodras, what did you call this magic? The layers of branding. It's something illegal, yes? Ix?
Uh-oh.
Oh no. Is the kitty
Yeah.
stuck asleep?
Viv, you might be muted. Darn
Meow.
it, Viv.
Oh no, we might have lost a player to sleep this time. But technically, we're almost at a full session, right?
Dang it.
Do you need to call him, Minuet?
Yeah. Give me a second.
Okay, right. I'm so boring. Oh no!
There's not enough explosions to keep their interest.
I was tempted to put on the sad face, but I don't have a hotkey for that right now.
Oh.
I cannot run another bonus session this week.
I want to go without bonus sessions for a while after this.
Yeah, makeup sessions are hard to deal with.
Yeah, like, no offense, but it's taxing. I know it's taxing for you, but also, like, as a player, it's also a lot. But it's way more a lot for the DM, which is why I was concerned earlier.
Meh. I just wanted to get through the last few hours and get through the Ian scene. Oh, I heard an Ix. I heard a Viv.
There we go.
Morning, Viv.
Rar.
Did you fall asleep?
Okay, there.
No, not yet.
No, his headset died.
Oh, no.
Oh.
But yes, Darren asked Ix what she previously called the whole thing that was done to the dwarf, because he knows that it was something illegal, but he doesn't remember exactly what it was called. And
Oh crap! I don't remember what it's called either.
because I know Ix specifically recognized it.
Yeah, I did. I just don't remember what it was off the top of my.
Yeah, well, this is information from months ago, because I'm pretty sure we did get some minor description of the person who did the branding, as well as Ix saying what exactly it was.
Yeah.
And I'm sure this is information we would share, but as players, we, like,
Completely.
blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, this was over 10 sessions ago.
It was a long time ago. I'm aware.
Well, then Ix will describe the information that she knows.
Your character also went through a lot. You guys remember specifically that it was a type of tattoo magic. Specifically, it's technically illegal to do this kind of thing to another person. Especially since it involves basically cursing the crap out of them in the process.
That's right. It was an illegal form of tattoo magic, similar to how there's spell tattoos, but this is curses layered on top of one another.
Yes. Long procedure, long painful procedure.
Which means, now that Ix has done that, which means there would have to be a facility somewhere where you can do that, right? That's not something you can just easily transport from place to place. You need materials, you need a setup.
You need a tattoo gun and a tattoo chair. Well, a tattoo machine, excuse me.
Well, this is assuming there's more to it, because you have to, like, put curses and shit in it.
No, you just need a caster that knows what the hell they're doing.
Damn it.
Tattoo magic is kind of broken, actually.
Just a little.
Just out of character throwing up my arms. Well, there goes that train of thought.
Ian goes, now the part that I am curious about, and the only reason why I am here is that you made the statement that there might be more in indentured servitude.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what on earth's purple skies in this case led you to believing such things?
Because of what he's said, of what he can tell us.
Yes, part of the information in the dwarf story is that he told us that they were given the option, quote unquote, like Darren may even do air quotes while explaining that whenever point it's done, that they would basically have to serve the organization. The dwarf believes it's the Sky Patrol, so we are under the assumption it is the Sky Patrol that is responsible for this. But regardless, that they would serve, or they would be imprisoned. Thus the brand. And whoever laid the curse on the dwarf very well may have a controlling curse layered in there that we just haven't found. Which again requires an analysis of the brand itself, which we have been unable to do.
Ian says, do you gentlemen know how bad the servitude issue is among the Olorun? At all?
Darren gives Sir Ian a deadpan look, in spite of their size difference, and he gestures between himself and Sir Ian. There are still plenty out there who would say the Dragonkin are no different than you.
Thank you for pointing out that I am not a person, at least you are. When I say indentured servitude, it is believed by our most recent numbers that at least 48% of our food is either handled, shipped, or grown by those that are or have been bought. It is believed that 1 in 10 nobles have, at one point in time or another, either do or possibly did own somebody. And the Million Manufacturer alone is believed to have several underground sweatshops. At least 25% of the products you owned at some point in time might have been made by somebody of this nature. If what you're insinuating is correct, there is somebody or somebodies inside the largest pirate hunting organization on the sky who may be enslaving people, whether correct or prisoners or what have you, into the system.
Mm-hmm.
And
Alright.
that is why you have my attention. Now, noting that you have my attention means while I cannot move, I do expect that you guys are capable of finding such information. Correct?
Indeed we can.
If you're looking for somebody to remove the curse and deal with the layers, and you don't have the information to unlock it, I highly suggest you bring them to the Kahakai Islands and possibly go to Clarksburg and find somebody willing to do such a thing. Well, I could help you guys remove it. I'm unwilling to without proof.
Like, hold on. Said to go to the Kahakai Islands, but also
Sir Ian,
go to Clarksburg.
Sir Ian basically told us go to Kahakai, leave the dwarf there, and then go to Clerksburg and find somebody who is willing to try and undo the brand, basically.
At which point in time, he says, and he slides a very odd-looking gem onto the table, says, I will take memory crystals.
Kind of does an eyebrow quirk.
Would I know what these are?
Knowledge Arcane.
Let me just double check my numbers.
I was about to say I legitimately don't know why I bother rolling for these, and then I rolled a nat 20. So 25 with a nat 20.
Total 25 for me.
What was your total, Cirrus?
25 with a nat 20 on the
Gotcha.
dice.
So we got 25, 25. I see another dice rolling.
And 18.
What about you, X?
18.
Do you want to roll?
Specific thing am I rolling again?
Knowledge Arcane.
Knowledge Arcane.
Is my knowledge arcane? I guess I can roll it. It's not terrible. Uh, 22.
Those that got 25 do recognize what's on the table.
Rip.
These are things that certain mages have used in the past to store memories. Now, you can only get small snippets, usually between 30 seconds to a minute, into one of these things. That's why it's not very common. They're extravagantly spendy. But a talented mage could take memory of the action happening and possibly dump it in this crystal. Something that apparently he's not willing to chance as long as the brand is on his head.
Fair enough. Also, I will be right back.
The dwarf or Sir Ian?
Sir Ian.
Ah.
I mean, there's probably the chance the cursed tattoo itself would interact with that, or just the fact that the cursed tattoo might be preventing him or altering the memories in some way.
And there's a chance of backfire.
Yeah.
The person that he has on hand to do such things, he's not willing to chance. He is willing to put the gem down. The stone itself is made out of a material that is fairly expensive. He is not willing to he seems unwilling to do more than take the report at this point in time because he needs something to go on.
Yeah.
Darren hums and does that, like, thumb and forefinger to his chin thing, the whole thinking expression. I have a question. Perhaps more for your assistant than for yourself.
Yes?
Would you happen to have records of anyone and everyone, at least within the city, who owns a tattoo parlor?
That information is public knowledge. You can check just about any phone book and find that.
True. But, he shrugs, I have to ask. Specifically arcane tattoo parlors, which might narrow it down.
Possibly if you wish to search, but that is not information we would be willing to provide. Once again, I would suggest just checking open record, at which point.
Understood. And as a point of open record, Sir Ian, I'm almost certain I may have offended you earlier, and for that I must apologize.
He just kind of stands up. The kobold pops up and he goes, I am a monster. And then he turns to leave.
Far less a monster
Aren't we-
than many in this city.
And Minuet responds with a, aren't we all?
He wavers.
Well, Maybe you. And Darren smirks as he pokes at Minuet's side.
You see,
Minuet kind of feigns indignation.
Ian stops by the bar. He leans over. He sets a few platinum pieces about. It seems like he's talking to the bartender. The bartender gives him the finger. You hear him say, "Fair enough," and he starts to walk out.
Okay. I suppose I should note that we have a memory gem with us. That is
Yes. If you manage to get the right mage who can pull memories, you might get somewhere between 30 seconds to a minute of a memory. You're going to have to be hyper specific for what you're looking for, but it's a starting point at least.
Yep.
And he's made several threats at your account, basically insinuating he'll hunt you down if you're lying to him, so.
How is that any different from normal?
It's not.
This isn't even the first law enforcement official who's threatened us today.
If that tells you anything about law officials.
Darren deadpans for 2 seconds, looks over at Cirrus and Minuet. What did you do?
Oh, well,
Asking pertinent questions to
talked-
pertinent people.
yes.
He didn't get out the way fast.
Huh?
I know what I said.
Hmm.
That sounds like something your mother would be upset about, Ix.
I'm not upset. You'd know if I was upset.
Are you
Darren
drunk?
looks wildly confused.
I have a much more direct method of showing my displeasure to things that upset me than mother.
Oh, okay.
Squints, Darren.
Anyways, so, I guess we're doing that at some point.
Yep.
But, well, I guess
What-
with all this done, we can focus more on a fucking demigod doing things.
I feel like we could have told him about that, but he's a busy individual. And also, that bounty is ours.
Yep.
And if anything, Darren stands up and he pockets the memory gem. He's going to put that in safekeeping later. In fact, he slides it in his jacket, where it is taken by a servant. Because, ooh, shine.
Who immediately plays with it.
Yep,
Oh,
this
no.
is fine. All the better if someone is focused on taking down one of the most despicable organizations the skies have ever seen.
Yep. Well,
And no, I'm not referring to Tandy Corp, he says as he begins walking out.
We all knew
Hey,
who
it
we
might
were
be-
referring to.
Tandy Corp. I mean,
Look, if Tandy's
so,
responsible
wi-
for our
will-
friend, we're a little in over our heads.
so, when has that stopped us before?
The dwarf goes, "Why was he so fat?"
Darren is just, he sighs. He takes off his glasses and does the thing that Rahu did earlier and just slides his hand over his face.
Why was he so stupid? I thought lawyers were supposed to be smart.
And this is why we can't take you anywhere to meet anyone.
Well, that and the tattoo.
Not even the tattoo.
Just the dwarf?
Yes.
Yeah, honestly, the dwarf is a bigger problem than the tattoo.
Not my problem. He was
Yeah.
fat and big.
Yeah.
Just because someone is big doesn't mean they're fat.
He looked
I'm
like he
big.
could eat somebody.
Maybe he did.
That is entirely plausible.
What do you think he's
Wouldn't
going to do
be
to
the-
us if this is a waste of his time?
Also, that wouldn't be the first dragon we've seen that eats away their problems.
It seems to be a running theme. Do you think they're related?
Let's hope not.
Darren stops and gasps, and he looks over at Cirrus. His eyes are completely green for all of a minute. It's your half-brother! He pauses, blinks, furrows his brow.
Wrong type
Don't.
of dragon, unfortunately.
I should not be drinking. And he resumes walking.
Ix will, do along as well. Snickering a bit at the half brother comment, though.
I don't even know how this family tree works. I haven't even tried to think about it. I'm pretty sure the stuff I saw outside of reality probably makes more sense.
Welcome to the family trees of dragons that achieved divinity.
Your family is your family because you found your family. And your family found you.
That's cute
Yeah.
and somewhat weird.
Well, so I gather we're sticking around in town for a little bit because of potential demigod thing, aren't we?
Yes, that is the.
Oh,
At the
I'm
very
going to have
least,
to-
we're not making a 180 on our course plan and going south immediately, only to have to book it up to Shawstead over the Tule Mountain.
Right. I'm going to have to pay the dock again. Got it.
How many days are you guys planning on staying to investigate?
As many as it takes is not really a valid.
We could start with 5.
But if we prepay
I'll
for
do
5, we're not. Yeah. 3 is the magic number. And we pay for more as we go, which means 10.5 gold.
Minuet will inquire as to how much silver how much silver Darren has.
I have exactly 5. I had to break a gold piece earlier.
Oh, okay. Because I have fishes around in his pockets 7 silver to do something with.
Like, as soon as they get back to the docks, Darren is just going to pay for the 3 days because he has that 5 silver and it's like, this is a half gold, I need to get rid of it. He still has 1
Oh, the
copper
big-
piece in his pocket, by the way, that he just can't get rid of. And he low-key hates it.
Meanwhile, while they're dealing with monetary things, Cirrus is just going to go back to her room, light some incense, set the bottle of rum on a table, and start casting a spell.
What spell?
Divination.
Yep, kind of guessed. Before we continue for tonight, we are at a natural stopping point. The question is, do we want to go for another hour and 10 minutes or so, or do we want to stop here?
I believe the main question poses to Viv.
I would honestly like to go get.
Go sleep.
If we're at a natural stopping point, this would be nice to stop.
Okay.
Also, I do have work in the morning, so sooner I
Yeah,
go to
go
bed,
do
the
the-
better.
Do
Go.
the bed.
Go to bed.
go to bed. Meantime,
Oh,
I'll go
okay.
ahead and get the raid to Tiago going. So we'll
Okay.
close up.
Good night, everybody.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night, guys.
But by the way, I am on the calculator keeping track of how many days we have left until Cirrus needs to be at that meeting.
Thank you. Okay,
Good night, Lord
someone,
Beers.
someone remind me. Like, actually, I'm just going to put this in a DM to Era, so I'll be able to see it next time Pathfinder stuff comes up.
Here, I'll go ahead and get my close started in the meantime. So, hey, thank you all for joining the table. Go ahead and feel free to join the adventuring party here by following me here on Twitch, subscribing, sharing my videos would also be amazing. We're getting really close in some places, but otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Love you all. Go ahead and drink more water, take care of yourselves, and have a wonderful night. I am going to go ahead and toss the people in my Twitch chat over to Tago now, so bye.
Yeah, Era's like 2 followers away from reaching that affiliate requirement. So, if you're not following Era, fix that.